Standing at 6 feet 4 inches tall, Abraham Lincoln was more than just a towering figure. He was a skilled wrestler, a self-taught student of politics, and the emancipator of millions. His leadership during the nation's most perilous years cemented his place as one of the most pivotal figures in American history. Historians, political leaders, and everyday citizens continued to look to Lincoln's example for guidance. But who exactly was he, and how did he rise from humble beginnings to become the leader who preserved the Union? Born on February 12, 1809, Abraham Lincoln came from humble beginnings in a one-room log cabin in rural Kentucky. Raised on the nation's frontier, he was one of 3 children, with an older sister Sarah and a younger brother Thomas who died in infancy. When Lincoln was just 9 years old, his mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln, died of milk sickness, a loss that deeply affected him. Lincoln spent his youth performing arduous labor to help his father support the family. His father placed little value on formal schooling, and Lincoln received only about a year of classroom education in total. Nevertheless, he developed a passion for learning and pursued it on his own. He read the Bible, Aesop's Fables, and Shakespeare by firelight, borrowed books from neighbors, and studied law on his own time. Looking back on these years, as stated by Lincoln, I am mostly self-educated and can get along pretty well on that. This relentless self-teaching sharpened his intellect, honed his communication skills, and laid the foundations for the political career that would one day carry him to the presidency. As a young adult, Lincoln worked to establish himself as a lawyer and politician in Springfield, Illinois. Money was scarce and privacy was a luxury. As was common in his day, Lincoln shared living quarters, even a bed, while trying to make ends meet at the start of his career. After a broken engagement in 1841, Lincoln ultimately reconciled with Mary Todd, and the two were married in 1842. Mary was a well-educated woman from a prominent Kentucky family. She shared Lincoln's deep interest in politics and public affairs. He spent much of his political career in Springfield as what many called a prairie lawyer, taking on almost any work that came his way. Lincoln often handled cases involving disputes over river traffic and railroad bridges, representing both river barge operators and railroad companies. During his rise toward the presidency, Lincoln delivered his famous House Divided speech in 1858, declaring, "A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe this government cannot endure, permanently half slave and half free. I do not expect the Union to be dissolved. I do not expect the house to fall, but I do expect it will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing or all the other." Following his election in 1860, several southern states chose to secede from the Union, driven by fear that Lincoln's presidency as a Republican would threaten the institution of slavery and the political powers they believed were reserved to the states. Lincoln chose a cabinet made of men with widely differing opinions, including some who had once been his political rivals. As Doris Kearns Goodwin explains in Team of Rivals, this then is a story of Lincoln's political genius revealed through his extraordinary array of personal qualities that enabled him to form friendships with men who had previously opposed him, to repair injured feelings that left untended might have escalated into permanent hostility, to assume responsibility for the failures of subordinates, to share credit with these, and to learn from mistakes. This diversity of perspectives often led to spirited debates with his administration, but Lincoln used these disagreements to refine policy, balance competing factions, and keep the Union's political coalition intact. By surrounding himself with strong, independent thinkers, he ensured that decisions during the Civil War were tested, challenged, and ultimately strengthened. Some of the defining moments of Lincoln's presidency included the Emancipation Proclamation, which called for and set the precedent for the emancipation of enslaved people. After the pivotal Battle of Gettysburg, Lincoln once again urged unity for the nation, as he had from the very beginning of the war. Ultimately, the life of this tremendous president was cut short when he was martyred at Ford's Theater by John Wilkes Booth. Surrounded by family and friends, Lincoln passed away the following morning. His life and presidency stand as a testament to bipartisanship, moral leadership, and the qualities we should still expect from a president today.